He gave her the world, and she shattered it. But what if I told you this heartbreak isn't just bad luck? What if it's part of a trap almost every man falls into? He gave her everything, his love, his trust, his loyalty, and yet she left him broken. A man sits alone, heart-shattered, wondering how it all went wrong. This story isn't rare. In fact, it's almost universal. How many men have worshipped a woman, believing love was pure magic, only to watch their dreams collapse into dust? For centuries, men have lived this tragedy, and nearly 200 years ago, one man tried to explain why it keeps happening. His name was Arthur Schopenhauer. He was a German philosopher who didn't sugarcoat life. Instead, he pulled the mask off illusions, especially the illusion of romantic love. He tried to warn men, but most didn't listen. His words were too raw, too uncomfortable. Today, those words are more important than ever. Let's start with the dream we are all sold. From the time we are boys, we are told that love is life's greatest treasure. Fairy tales show knights fighting for princesses. Movies celebrate soulmates and happily ever afters. Songs glorify love as the answer to all pain, the cure for all loneliness. We grow up believing there is one special woman who will complete our lives. So we chase love endlessly. When we don't have it, we crave it. When we do have it, it consumes us. And when we lose it, we feel like the world has ended. It dominates our thoughts, our conversations, our dreams. But Schopenhauer asked a simple question. Why? Why does something that looks so small, a relationship, a romance, a trifle, cause so much chaos, so much passion, so much suffering? His answer was brutal. Because the stakes are not small at all. Love feels like everything because, in truth, it is tied to the deepest purpose of life itself, the continuation of the human race. Behind every love story, whether comic or tragic, stands the ultimate aim of reproduction. Think about it. Men write poems for love, fight duels for love, even wage wars for love. Entire nations have been shaken because of romance. Why? Because deep inside us, we sense that something huge is at stake. And we are right. Schopenhauer explained that love is not about happiness, it is about survival. Romantic love is simply nature's tool to ensure the next generation is born. That's why it feels so powerful, so urgent, so overwhelming. In his words, it is not a trifle at all. In truth, the stakes of love are the highest in human life. And this is where the illusion begins. Men believe they are chasing happiness, peace, and completion in love. But what they are really chasing, without even knowing it, is nature's agenda. Love is not a gift from the heavens. It's not a fairy tale. It is, in Schopenhauer's eyes, a trick played on us by nature. Nature gives us a sweet illusion, making us believe that a particular woman is our destiny, our missing piece. It makes our hearts race, our minds dream, our lives revolve around her. But behind that illusion is something impersonal, something ancient, the survival of the species. This is why love can make us feel like we're on top of the world one day and leave us in ruins the next. Nature doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care if you're happy or broken. It only cares that you reproduce. And here lies the trap. Men fall into it again and again because they don't see the game that's being played. They think they are choosing freely. In reality, they are being pulled by invisible strings. The broken man sitting alone in silence is not just unlucky. He is a victim of a much older story, a story written into the very structure of life. He thought he was choosing love, but in truth, love was choosing him on behalf of nature's will. This is the illusion of love, and until men see it clearly, They will continue to give their all, only to be destroyed when the illusion fades. You think you're chasing love, but in reality, something darker is chasing through you. What if your deepest desires were never really yours? Every man remembers that one moment, the first glance that made his heart race, the first touch that set fire to his blood, the first kiss that felt like destiny itself. We call it chemistry, passion, attraction. We convince ourselves it's a choice, that we decided to fall in love. But Schopenhauer shatters this comforting illusion. According to him, desire is not something we control. It is something that controls us. Hidden beneath our conscious choices is a force much older and much stronger, what he called the will. The will is blind. It does not care about your happiness, your peace, or your plans. It only cares about one thing. Life must continue. Nature wants the next generation, and to achieve this, it whispers into us the illusion of true love. That's why desire feels so irresistible. It's why men abandon reason, betray their values, and even destroy their lives for the sake of a woman. To the outside world, it looks like madness, but to the will, it's simply nature doing its work. Schopenhauer gave a haunting example. Think about how powerful sexual desire is compared to other needs. Hunger can be satisfied with any food, thirst with any drink. But desire, number. It demands one specific person, at one specific time, in one specific way. It is not random. It is laser-focused. Why? Because it isn't about your pleasure. It's about reproduction. Your body and mind are being hijacked by something deeper. When you feel drawn to a woman, it isn't just because she's beautiful or kind. It's because, unconsciously, your instincts believe she carries the qualities your bloodline wants for the future. Harsh, isn't it? We think we are choosing freely, but in reality, desire is choosing for us. And here's the tragic irony. Once nature's goal is fulfilled, once the passion burns out, the illusion collapses. The woman you thought was your soulmate suddenly feels ordinary, even irritating. The fire turns into ashes. Many men mistake this shift as betrayal or think something went wrong. In truth, nothing went wrong at all. Nature simply lost interest once her job was done. This explains why relationships often begin with explosive passion and end in silence or bitterness. The will does not care if the man suffers. It only cared that for a moment he believed in the illusion strong enough to act on it. Now imagine the scale of this trap. Millions of men across centuries, fighting, sacrificing, writing poetry, starting wars, all because of a force they never truly controlled. Kings and beggars alike enslaved to the same hidden command. Schopenhauer's insight is terrifying because it removes the romance from romance. It says, you were never in charge. That girl you thought was the one, she wasn't chosen by your free will. She was chosen by the blind will of life, pulling strings you couldn't even see. This is why heartbreak cuts so deeply. It is not just the loss of a person. It is the collapse of an illusion. The moment when a man realizes that what he thought was freedom was actually a chain. And yet, despite all the suffering, men return to the cycle again and again. They chase new illusions, new passions, new flames. Why? Because the will is stronger than reason. You can read Schopenhauer, understand his words, nod your head, and still, when the right pair of eyes meets yours, you'll fall once more. The will cannot be defeated. It can only be recognized. And perhaps, by recognizing it, a man can step outside the illusion, even if only for a moment. So the question becomes, if love is an illusion and desire is a trick, then what should a man do? Should he fight against it? Or should he embrace it, knowing the cost? That is the burden Schopenhauer leaves us with. And it is the question that will haunt every man who dares to look beyond the mask of love. In Schopenhauer's view, the game between man and woman is not about romance, not about affection, and not even about happiness. It is a power struggle, carefully orchestrated by nature itself. And in this struggle, the woman's weapon is subtle, yet incredibly effective. She makes the man believe that his love, his desire, and his sacrifices are noble and meaningful. But in reality, all of this serves a single hidden purpose, the continuation of life. Schopenhauer argues that when a man falls in love, he thinks he has found the one. He feels destiny. He feels meaning. He feels as if his entire existence revolves around this woman. He becomes willing to fight, sacrifice, and even destroy himself for her. But the harsh truth, according to Schopenhauer, is that this intense obsession is not about the man's happiness. It is about nature using him as a tool to secure reproduction. This is why, he says, love is never gentle. It is violent, irrational, and often destructive. It makes a man act against his own best interest. He neglects his goals, his friends, even his freedom, all in pursuit of someone who, in the end, may not even value him. Why? Because love is not about you. It is about the species. And here lies the cruel paradox. While the man thinks he is pursuing pleasure or fulfillment, the woman, guided by unconscious instincts, tests him, manipulates him, and resists him. She does not simply give herself away. Instead, she creates barriers, demands proof, and measures his strength. For Schopenhauer, this is not cruelty for cruelty's sake. It is strategy, a woman's hesitation, her resistance. Even her so-called indifference is not a flaw. It is her greatest strength. Because in this struggle she ensures that only the most determined, most resourceful, and most resilient man succeeds. Nature, through her, selects the strongest possible mate for the survival of future generations. Think about it. How many men waste years of their lives chasing a woman who never truly wanted them? How many sacrifice money, energy, and dreams for someone who, in the end, walks away? Schopenhauer would say, this is not an accident. This is the hidden design of the will. For him, love is not romantic. It is a battlefield. And on this battlefield, men are often the casualties. They bleed, they suffer, they are broken, while women, even when they lose, rarely lose everything, because the game was designed for them to have the advantage. But does this mean men are doomed to lose? Not necessarily. Schopenhauer's insight is that the man who understands this hidden game can protect himself. He can see that love is not what it pretends to be. He can see that the burning passion inside him is not his own choice, but the will playing tricks on his mind. And once he sees this, he gains power. He may still desire, but he will not be enslaved. He may still pursue, but he will not destroy himself. He may still love, but he will not mistake this illusion for truth. This is why Schopenhauer's philosophy is both dark and liberating. It tears apart the fantasy of love, but in doing so, it gives men a weapon, clarity. The clarity to see that love is not about finding your soulmate, but about playing nature's game. The clarity to understand that a woman's resistance is not rejection, but strategy. The clarity to realize that the most dangerous thing a man can lose is not a woman, but himself. And so, Schopenhauer leaves us with a difficult question. When you fall in love, will you be the blind player in nature's game? Or will you see the battlefield for what it is and choose your moves with? Schopenhauer ends his reflections on women and love with one of the darkest conclusions in philosophy. Love is not a path to happiness. It is a trap. Think about it. Every man who has fallen in love believes he has discovered life's ultimate treasure. He feels chosen, blessed, transformed. He looks at the woman in his arms and thinks, "This is the reason for my existence." But for Schopenhauer, this is the greatest illusion nature ever created, because once the fire of passion cools, what remains is often disappointment. The same woman who once seemed divine soon appears ordinary, flawed, even irritating. The man begins to wonder, was it all just a mistake? But in truth, nothing went wrong. Nature simply accomplished its goal, and the illusion dissolved. Schopenhauer calls this the tragic joke of life. Desire promises fulfillment, but delivers suffering. It gives the man a dream so powerful that he sacrifices everything to chase it, only to wake up empty, enslaved, and often broken. This is why, in his view, women are not angels of love, but instruments of the will. They are not villains, nor are they saints. They are simply the carriers of life's hidden command. Continue the species at any cost. Their beauty, their charm, their ability to inspire madness in men. These are not gifts. They are weapons. And this is the harsh reality most men refuse to accept. Instead, they cling to the fantasy of true love, hoping that the next relationship, the next woman, the next passion will finally bring peace. But time and again, they fall into the same cycle, burning desire, sacrifice, disappointment, over and over, until life itself ends. Yet Schopenhauer does not leave us entirely hopeless. He suggests that the man who recognizes the truth can achieve a strange kind of freedom. If you know that love is an illusion, you no longer expect it to give you eternal happiness. If you know that desire is a trick of nature, you can resist its pull, or at least refuse to be completely destroyed by it. This does not mean you must reject women or deny relationships. It means you approach them with clarity, with open eyes, and with an understanding that the game is never what it pretends to be. The greatest danger, Schopenhauer warns, is when a man worships a woman as if she were his salvation, because in doing so, he hands over his power, his freedom, and his soul. He becomes not a lover, but a slave. But the man who sees through the illusion remains untouchable. He may feel desire, but he will not drown in it. He may love, but he will not be blinded by it. He may walk alongside a woman, but he will never kneel before her. In the end, Schopenhauer forces us to confront a question most men are too afraid to ask. If love is only an illusion, is it worth it? Perhaps the answer lies not in rejecting love entirely, but in refusing to let it define you. Perhaps true strength comes from knowing the game, playing it consciously, and never forgetting that your happiness cannot be built on an illusion. And so, Schopenhauer's message echoes like a warning. Love may seduce you, it may inspire you, it may even break you, but it was never meant to save you. The man who understands this will no longer seek freedom in love. He will find freedom in himself.